So I wanted to talk about some more of the insights and maybe a bit about the techniques that I've used in my practice and the way I've been practicing it. So I think one of the things that led me into practice was my physical training, like sports, physical training, weightlifting, parkour and all that kind of stuff. And what drew me to that and why I loved it so much and why I kept doing it was because it gave me glimpses of emptiness, glimpses of presence, just little glimpses. So I'd push myself, my body, to the extent where I kind of disassociated into stillness, into presence, or when I was doing something dangerous or that required a skill that required a lot of concentration, then the emptiness was there as well, and I think that's what attracted me to it. But like I was saying before about the body having a physical reaction to having a stress response, and then the mind and the ego attaching itself to it and perpetuating it. My ego attached itself to those training experiences and those sports experiences before and after. So it became somewhat of an ego-based, an identity endeavour. But what was there was the, in small glimpses, was that experience of the separation and the singularity that I was talking about. So that's in itself a technique. I suppose a technique, maybe not consciously, of forcing yourself into a state of emptiness. Also, when I had problems with alcohol, what I realised is that again was an attempt at reaching the state of emptiness. So, say I was going through a really particularly bad hangover, in a way I sought that out, or the DTs or whatever, in a way I sought that out because having to overcome that experience again forced you into that presence and that emptiness, and it was a kind of forced disassociation. So I'm seeing now that the many ways in which the mind tries to destroy itself and how the presence comes up and the consciousness wanting to experience the awakened state. So techniques wise, I read a lot of things on different types of meditation. One was Vipassana, so the body scanning. So you're moving the attention into the physical body and you're looking for energetic blockages. It's like a self-inquiry technique, but it's a very focused and very applied effort into moving your attention into the body. What worked for me is the do nothing meditation. So what I do is bring my attention into the present moment and focus on a specific thing fully, and then start to move out. So focus on my vision, focus on the visual plane that's in front of me, and then expand that out, move it out to the peripherals, and then expand that out. Be aware of the body, expand that out, be aware of your surroundings and the sounds as far as you can hear. Just take it all in, very expansive. And in doing that, that kind of brought me back to the Vipassana style in a kind of different route, through a different route in a different way. So like I mentioned in the previous video, all these kind of energetic blocks in the mind body are releasing themselves just by being aware of them and having that rootedness in the presence all the time. The thoughts are there. It's like awakening, enlightenment isn't what you think it is. It's quite an apt phrase, I suppose. Enlightenment isn't what you think it is. It's nothing to do with thought. And you know, before I would look at people on YouTube talking about this, and I would be critiquing them and what they were saying, and thinking to myself, they're not actually awake, they're not actually enlightened, it's just a manifestation of ego. This is just their style of expressing ego. That doesn't matter. None of that matters. It's adopting the perspective of the person again. So the thoughts become more kind of, when you sit in emptiness, the thoughts that come up become more kind of wispy and transparent. They lose their density to a degree. They lose their solidity and they take a different form. They're still there. It's not what I thought it was. It's so much more simple. I thought that moving through the stages of awakening, I'd hit a sudden point where I had a shift in consciousness, and everything would be solved, and I would have all my emotional stuff and all my dysfunction of the ego would just vanish, and I wouldn't be there, and I'd be like I'd be transformed. But it's not like that. All the stuff's still there. You just have the clarity to be able to work on it. When you're in it, you can't see dysfunction. You're living it. When you have from a different perspective, you can see, you have these insights and you can see things, and then you can fix some things. But it just gives you the space to be able to observe and work on things that you want to change about yourself and the person. But it's very difficult when you're in it. It's like all these psychological techniques, self-improvement techniques of the mind are almost impossible to implement when you don't have the awareness. So just to being aware of these things, they just come and they go, and you're not really in control of it. So if there's anyone watching this, you can do it with me. So bring the attention into the present, be empty, and just watch for the next thought coming up. Watch when it comes up. So what will the next thought be? What shape will it take? Will it be dialogue? Will it be words? Will it be images? Will it be like a feeling? And so I'm gonna watch, and when the first thought comes up, the first thought that comes up is, we might be here all day. That's a thought. But it's not so much of a thought, like a dialogue. It's more of, not a feeling, but an idea. The thoughts aren't taking the shape of I'm talking about something in my head. It's just an idea, not really language. So, for example, there's the idea that people are going to think I'm a weirdo if I post these videos and people watch them, and they're going to think I'm talking shite and it's egotistical and all this kind of stuff. All of that is in just an idea, just a very slight, wispy, ethereal little idea. But there's it's then picking it up and running with it, and then going into mental dialogues in your head. There's that distance now. The ego's still running, it still has its momentum, but it's in the space, being observed, doing what it likes. So let's apply the mind in a useful way to that, in an objective way, and try and reframe it. So that thought, people are going to think I'm a weirdo for sitting staring at my camera in the car or whatever, or posting this online. Can I control other people's opinion of me? No, not really. Going around trying to control people's minds, like, please like me, how much energy that's going to take is a waste of energy. Try and turn the thought into a positive or optimistic one that's not self-centered. So let's reframe it like, if this video helps someone, say if it helps one person, move away from suffering and psychological, emotional dysfunction, then it's worth it. So you can see the thoughts for what they are, and you can reframe them. And I think it's just practicing that. So it needs to be integrated into the person, like I said before. And the work needs to be done. Again, it's all part of the practice and self-improvement. But you can't see the dysfunction unless you look at it. If you're in it, you can't see it. There has to be the awareness first. I think I'm going to start taking some notes, because when I'm empty, I find it very difficult to think and speak. It's like the interest for the dialogue is kind of not really there. So I'll maybe take some notes going forwards. But yeah, that's all for now.